Welcome to episode 24 of the Old White Man Show. I call it the Old White Man Show because I'm old, I'm white, and I'm a man. It's a purpose of this show is to talk a little bit about myself, a little bit about history, a little bit about what's going on in our world today. Just getting opinions out. Everybody has an opinion, so mine's no better than yours. But this is what I believe, so I'm going to express my opinion. A lot of times growing up, we was always told that children should be seen but not heard. I reckon that was a good way to say for kids to keep the opinion to yourself. Well, that's gone away. Now everybody has opinions. And sometimes these young ones, if you listen to their opinions makes a lot more sense than what we may think. They have a good idea. A lot of times I ask my grandkids and their friends for their opinions on certain things, and they give me an honest answer, and it kind of opens up a new perspective for me to think about. So I encourage everyone to get out there and talk to some young folks. Sometimes you get real old, you might get a little bit of wisdom, but you might forget to, keep your mind open for various different things. It's a strange world we live in today. We're finishing up this week. We're in the last week of 2020, and we're getting ready to welcome in 2021. And 2021, I think, is going to be a doozy. Sometime in the year 2019, somebody invented a virus that has been released on the world and has affected the whole world. Every nation on earth, every society has been affected one way or another. It's caused an economic downturn, an unmeasurable toll on human life, human sufferings. We got kids no longer able to go to class, to go to school. We got businesses that shut down, people can't work. The world was really changed. You can no longer travel. If you do travel, you got to be very cautious, and everybody looks at you and very suspicious of why you traveling, why you taking a chance on spreading a terrible disease or catching a terrible disease. Now we hear that there's a new strain of this disease, of the China coronavirus. There's a new strain. And how it's going to affect everybody, we don't know. Just when we get a virus, a new strain emerges. Just when we get that vaccine. Is that vaccine going to protect us from the new strain? We don't know. I do know that it's probably going to be better, to take the vaccine than not take the vaccine. Of course, we don't know what side effects the vaccine may have. You may start speaking different languages. You may die. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. People's working to combat this, but I'm afraid that it may be sometimes the same people who's trying to combat something like this that might have started it in the first place. You should sit down and ask yourself a question. Why was this created? Why was it man-made? Why was it released? Was it political? I don't know. There's theories out there that it was political. I hope not. But the fact of the matter is, it's there. Should you wear a mask? Some people says yes, some people says no. There's pros and cons to it. When I'm here in my office, I don't wear a mask. When I'm at home, I don't wear a mask. When I'm riding in my vehicle by myself, I don't wear a mask. When I go to church, I wear a mask. If I go into the grocery store, I wear a mask. If I go to a restaurant, I wear a mask to my table, then I take it off and eat, then I put it back on when I leave, which doesn't make any sense at all. So who knows? The VA did some blood work on me, and one of the normal costs of their blood work now is that they test for COVID-19. And I didn't know they did this until I read my medical report months later. And sometime at the end of October, when I got my last medical exam, I found out that they did the COVID test on me, and I tested negative. I have several doctors I go to, and they all told me that it's negative, that I don't have it. One doctor told me, he said, some people's genetics just keeps them from getting it. Or you might get it and it goes away. It doesn't affect you too much. In the last few weeks, though, I know a lot of people who I actually know has passed, and they said it was COVID-19 if that was the cause. It seems like every day I'm hearing now that someone's passing. The hospitals in our Dallas-Fort Worth area, they are filled. People can't get into hospitals because of this COVID and this new strain. And we as Americans, we as human beings, we need to demand our government to find out how this happened, and it needs to be addressed. I'm one for retaliation when I'm attacked, and I look at this as an attack. If it was done by a foreign government, I think it's an act of war, and we should send a real straight notice to them. If it's done by my government, then it's a war on the people, and they should be caught, found guilty of treason, and executed. I have no mercy for people who's doing this. And I don't know what 2021 is going to bring. I don't know if the stock market's going to fall, more people's going to lose their jobs, new strains is going to appear. But I don't think it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be better, but I don't know. I don't even know who my president is. We had an election where we had more people vote than ever in the history of the United States of America. We had more registered voters vote, 10, 15 million more than we had registered. I don't know who the president is. I don't know if we have had a conspiracy to, commit fraud on our election. I don't know why the news media and the legal systems and everybody's not listening to over 1,000 people who signed affidavits stating that they've seen this, where we got actual news film where you can see them taking out boxes of ballots from underneath tables and counting them over and over again, where we got postal workers who says that they have seen fraud within the post office and all this, drivers, delivery people, where we had poll workers, people caught in the action, yet no one believes it. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. I do know that it's not going to be good, because there will be some type of reaction to all what's going on. And we, the American people, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent or whatever, we need to make sure that we know that our elections is safe, that our government is safe. We need to be purged of all these evildoers, whoever they may be. If they exist, we need to do away with them. I, for one, have lost trust in my government and in all the bureaucrats that runs my government. My opinion of an FBI employee is pretty low. It's down the bottom 10%. You know, I can't trust them no more. You know, I can't trust my CIA. I can't trust our legal departments. I've lost that trust. You know, and there's other people like me that's lost the trust too. You know, there's nothing that we can do, you know, right now to understand how deep the corruption is within our own government. The news media won't report it. You know, the big tech companies, they control the media now. They own a lot of the media. They tell the media what to do, and the media is responding. The people no longer has a voice. There's radicals that gets up and does what they want to do, and no one does anything to stop them, and people runs in fear of them. So, 2021, you know, I hope you can prove me wrong, but I don't think you will. Life is getting tougher. People's going to have a lot more sufferings. There will be some bright spots. Texas is a bright spot. Oklahoma is a bright spot. Louisiana is a bright spot. Mississippi. A lot of the southern areas are going to be bright spots for our country. A lot of people on the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington State, I see them moving into our areas now. People from Michigan and Minnesota, they're moving down. New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, Massachusetts, their license plates is all over the place. They're moving to our areas. They're trying to get into a conservative area that doesn't have all these problems. It has nothing to do with your ethnic background or your race. It has to do with what you believe in. One thing you can believe in is LSU. LSU had their coach had the guts to take them out the bowl game this year. Even though they was only 5-5, they would have made the bowl game. Everybody wanted to play LSU, and they would have got a good bowl. But they took them out because there's too many players dropping off the team that don't deserve to be there. You know, he's self-punishing the people. You know, he knows he wasn't going to win the national championship. So, take him out the bowl game, do a little corrective action there. And now we got 4 teams that's going to try for the national championship. Alabama, who's been there before, multiple times. Clemson, who's been there before. Ohio State, they've been there back in the 70s, but really Ohio State, you know, it's kind of like, you know, a 500 team in the in the Southeast Conference. They're not a very good football team. I don't see them beating Clemson at all. And Notre Dame, the luck of the Irish, don't bet on Notre Dame unless you get a lot of points. I think Alabama will beat Notre Dame by at least 28. You know, that being said, goodbye for 2020, and I'll see you again in 2021. Have a good new year. Bye-bye.